Hey boys and girls, it's Brittany Goff, a kindergarten teacher at Petal Primary School. I wanted to hop on today and read you a story. I know several of your teachers have been just looking for ways to connect with you guys during this time when we're apart. And so we're gonna kind of take turns coming on and reading to you guys or sharing instructional videos and that kind of thing, just to keep that connection open during this interesting time. So today I wanted to share with you this story called Duck. This is a story by Randy Cecil. It's not a very popular story, so you may not have heard it before, but it is a very sweet, endearing story that my little girl and I like to read, so I hope that you enjoy it as well. Duck by Randy Cecil. Duck was a carousel animal who longed to fly. She knew her carved wooden wings were not made for flying, but she couldn't stop thinking about it, even when the carousel was whirling around. At night, after the crowds had gone home and the amusement park was quiet, Duck would leave her place on the carousel. She loved to watch real ducks soar across the sky. She would lie down on the cobblestones and look up at the stars. She wondered how close flying ducks could get to the stars. And when Duck fell asleep, she dreamed she was among them. Then one spring day, everything changed. A little lost duckling ambled through the front gate and walked right up to Duck. "What's this?" wondered Duck. It had a bill like a duck and feet like a duck, but she had never seen such a small duck before, or one so yellow and fuzzy. She picked up the tiny thing to consider it more closely. "Are you a duck?" she asked. "Quack," said Duckling. From that moment on, Duck and Duckling were always together. They laughed together, they played together, they even dreamed the same dreams together. As time passed, Duckling's yellow fuzz turned into beautiful white feathers, and his little wings began to look like flying duck's wings. Soon he was mastering real duck things like shoveling through the mud for bugs. But he showed no signs of flying. If Duckling was ever going to fly, Duck decided she would have to teach him. So they began Duckling's training. In the mornings they worked on jumping. A good jump is essential for takeoff. Next came flapping practice. Anyone will tell you how important flapping is to flying. Then Duck would help Duckling climb up on her back so Duckling could feel the wind on his wings as the carousel turned. There were wonderful moments when it looked like Duckling might take off and fly straight up to the clouds. But he never quite did. Duck knew it was time to find the ones who could teach Duckling what she could not. So Duck strapped Duckling tightly to her back with her scarf and set off in search of real ducks. She walked and walked, then suddenly she saw them, a group of ducks floating in a stream. "Now remember to be polite," she said to Duckling as she straightened some of his new feathers. "You're going to do fine." But when she looked for the ducks again, they were gone. "Wait!" Duck cried as she raced to the top of a hill. The real flying ducks were high in the sky, heading south. What if they never found them again? How would Duckling learn to fly? Then something magical happened. They were flying, sort of. Duckling was flying, but actually they were sinking more than they were flying. Duck was just too heavy for Duckling. As they sank lower and lower, Duck realized what she had to do. She freed herself from the scarf. Right away, Duckling went up, and Duck went down. Up, up, up went Duckling. Down, down, down went Duck. Duck kept going until she hit the ground and skidded to a stop. She looked up just in time to see Duckling taking his place among the other real ducks. A moment later, they were gone. Duck limped back home to the amusement park, alone and scarfless, to face the long winter ahead. And a long winter it was. It snowed and snowed. It snowed so much, Duck almost disappeared. But finally, spring returned. The snow melted away, and Duck was awakened by the bright sun. The real ducks were returning too, but Duck no longer wanted to watch them fly. It was flying that had taken Duckling away from her. Duck sat at the edge of the carousel and lowered her head. Then, out of the corner of her eye, she saw something. What do you think she saw? It was a real flying duck, but not just any duck. This one was wearing Duck's scarf and flying right towards her. "Duckling!" she cried. "Quack!" said Duckling. "Let me look at you," said Duck. "You're all grown up." Duckling preened as Duck patted his head and smoothed his tail feathers. All that day they laughed together, they played together, just as they had so many times before. As night came, Duckling prepared to leave again with his flock. But first, Duckling helped Duck climb up on his back. And finally, Duck knew what it was to fly. I hope you enjoyed that book. See you guys again soon.